ladies and gentlemen, my name is Henrik Palmgren. This is Red Eyes Creations Radio. We are coming to you from the west coast of Sweden. Nice to have you along today. You can hear us on Thursdays and Sundays through our website redeyescreations.com, where we also feature news, links, articles, other resources from around the world and beyond. Also, don't forget we have a growing member section loaded with material for you. Our full radio archive, of course, with extended interviews with many of our guests, but also videos, short films, articles, and much more. We have Rick Clay back with us on the program today as a follow-up to the two segments that we did this past Sunday. We talked about Sion, the upcoming Olympic Games in Beijing and in London, and how all of this kind of connects with 2012 and leading up to the introduction, if you will, of the new trinity of sorts with the Prince William, or maybe around 2012 King William, as the deity of the religion for the new aeon. And today we're going to follow up on this program and discuss some more things that we didn't get into in so much depth. I have a few questions and comments on what we didn't talk about last time. So if you haven't heard part 1, I suggest you go back into our archive, listen, so you know what we're talking about here. And we can preface this show, of course, with saying that Rick is behind the blog The Cosmic Mind. You can find that by simply going to thecosmicmind.blogspot.com, and there you will find many of the articles that we will be addressing in this program. So with that, welcome back to the program, Rick. Glad to have you back again. How is it?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you.
Nice. Did you have a chance to ease down since last Sunday when we talked?
I think my brain exploded, but I've managed to piece it back together again. It was a mammoth session.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, you presented basically the thesis and overall research that you've been doing for the last half year, I guess, here. But
yeah,
very, very fascinating, very interesting. And today we're going to go back to some of the keynotes and talk a little bit more about that. But have you gotten any feedback on the show that we did so far?
I've had some quite positive feedback. There's been people message me on the blog, and I've received some emails as well. Obviously, some that are not in complete agreement with what I've been saying, but that's fair enough, because I'm not saying that this is gospel or anything. Just saying this is how I see it. Yeah,
of course. What is the disagreements about mainly?
I'm not sure. I mean, from what I gather, some of the messages are kind of coming much from the matter before mind scientific viewpoint, as opposed to the alternate viewpoint that the mind before matter situation.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I think I read on your blog a little bit about that, and that was, I think it was in regards to numerology, that there are kind of specific rules that you have to follow and whatnot, but from what I can kind of pick out on all of this so far is that this is not about so much rules and a discipline in that sense. This is more about actually this is stuff that speaks to the subconscious. This is stuff that triggers the right brain, if you will, and not the analytical left brain. So
completely.
So in a way, this is not about just sticking to certain rules. It's about just pointing out what it is that you're discovering, right?
Yeah, exactly. Someone had proposed that the method to numerology is just simply to add the numbers up as you go along, and obviously there probably is a set method to numerology which I might not be familiar with, but all I can say is that this is different in the sense this is numbers in the universe, and there is number play from specific people as well. But it's not. It doesn't abide to any particular rule. That's the thing. It's as they wish to present it.
Yeah,
exactly. As whoever wishes to present it.
Well, exactly, and even the idea of if we think of the universe or creation as a holographic thing or a fractal thing, in a way, then it actually doesn't matter what area you look into or how you make the connections. In a way, this is just about if you're have the consciousness to discover the connections or the similarities, then that's the pattern. That is the the discovery right there.
Yeah, it is something at the root of consciousness. That's how that's all I see it as. It's there, permeates everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I want to begin to talk a little bit more about the Olympics and ask you a little bit about basically why you think that the Olympic Games is such an important event, or rather, why they have made the Olympic Games such an important event. Any ideas or theories about that?
Well, I mean, obviously the Olympics, it stems back thousands of years, and it started off as a pagan games, if you like, where all the athletes and stuff would pay their respects to Zeus and Olympus, and obviously it seemed to, like, through the ages and stuff, it died out, and then there was the resurrection. I can't particularly remember the man who started the modern Olympic Games, but again, it was a Freemason, esoteric worker of sorts, and obviously wanted to bring them back. and with the 2012 Olympics, obviously we've got and obviously what I've discovered with the ley lines and stuff, where the particular site is, we've got this situation where it's clearly involving energy.
Indeed. And one thing here that is interesting, you mentioned the Greek background on all this, and of course there is a connection between, if we go back to the Roman world, that connects with the Grecian world, and then we can go back to the Egyptian world, or the Phoenician or Canaanite, or what have you, basically there. Yeah. Or even the Druid or Celtic religion. But
yeah, of course.
One interesting article that actually picked up on this was from The Guardian back in 2006 in May, called "Greek Gods Prepare for Comeback," and the beginning of the article stated that it has taken almost 2,000 years, but those who worship the 12 gods of the ancient Greece have finally triumphed, and Athens' court has ordered that the adulation of Zeus, Hera, Hermes, Athena, and the company is to be unbanned, paving the way for a comeback of pagans on Mount Olympus. So I mean, that's pretty interesting, considering what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's a bit like the opening ceremony itself. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it this year, but obviously the opening ceremony involves 11 women. They're all like dressed up like snake charmers of sorts, and they actually light the Olympic flame with the sun. They get a parabolic mirror and light the flame. It's all involving the sun and the stars, and as it is in a pagan religion, they're personified as gods.
Ah, exactly, and that's very interesting that you mentioned that, because the origins of the Olympic flame. I mean, that's very interesting. Why that is. I mean, to a certain degree, I draw that back to the Promethean mythology of actually stealing the fire from the gods, or taking the knowledge from the gods and then utilizing that in the human world. What's your idea about the flame?
Well, I think, evident from the Olympic torch relay, it's clearly some kind of ritual. If you, for instance, observe where the Olympic torch is run, for instance, in Paris, the Olympic torch took a route down the Champs-Élysées, down the energy line, straight forward towards the Louvre Pyramid. And then same situation in London. It did the torch did a visitation of all the significant sites in London associated with the obelisks and the London Eye and the Natural History Museum. And then if you, for instance, look where it's going to end up, on June the 21st, which is the summer solstice this year, the torch is going to be running through Lhasa in Tibet.
There you go, yeah.
So, given the commotion around the Free Tibet and the Tibetan uprisings and everything